Subtracting integers. First thing you might want to do is try rewriting subtraction video 41101 is the code number on GMM. What we do when we're subtracting integers is first we note that it's a subtraction problem. Then we rewrite it as addition and apply the rules of addition. So I notice that this is subtracting. So I can rewrite this as 29. I rewrite this as plus. The opposite of 43 is negative 43. So now I have an addition problem, 29 plus negative 43. And I go back to my addition rules. Since it's a positive plus a negative, I subtract. And then I determine based upon the size of the absolute value if it's negative or positive. This is a negative 14 because that's larger absolute value than that. Okay, so I add the opposite. That's the key phrase. Add the opposite. And although that's just a technique and not great understanding, it's a good way to remember the basic rule. So I spot that it's subtraction, so I'm going to add the opposite. 42 is a positive number. I'm going to add the opposite of negative 7 is positive 7. So now I have two positives together. And really, that idea here is taking away a negative is a positive thing. So I end up with a positive 49. Back to this. This is a positive minus a positive, and it's a bigger positive. This is a positive minus a negative. Okay. The third setup is instead of starting with a positive number, subtracting a negative, I start with the negative number, subtracting a negative number. So I still add, change it to addition. The opposite of negative 18 is positive 18. So now I'm back to my rule where I have a negative plus a positive, so I subtract those. That's a 58. And now I evaluate. It's a negative 58 because that's the larger absolute value. Remember, absolute value is shown like that, and it's the distance from 0. So that was a negative minus a negative instead of a positive minus a negative. And the fourth set is a negative minus a positive. So I notice that it's a subtraction. So my negative number stays the same. Subtraction becomes addition. The opposite of 17 is negative 17. So I converted it to addition, and now I have two negatives that I'm combining. So 12 plus 17 is 19, and they're both negative. So that value would be negative 29. Okay, so when I go to subtract integers, I want to rewrite them as addition. And then I want to perform the rules for adding. Key phrase, add the opposite.